The Witch's Isle is from a Japanese mobile game developer. This game launched on mobile devices in July and came to Steam in September. Hang on though, because it's a point-and-click game that doesn't suffer from being a mobile game. Either way, The Witch's Isle is a great-looking point-and-click with an intriguing, well-written story. I was a little nervous because the screens look so good, but it seems like there's so little interest in the game. Usually when a game looks like this, it gets fairly popular. Anyway, The Witch's Isle puts you under the gun to solve the puzzle of the island and keep your life. The basic story has a witch controlling the island with a curse, but tonight, a thief came in and stole an urn from her. She has tasked you with finding it and returning it to her before 4 a.m. This creates a hard time limit to complete the game. It's about 1 hour in real time, but 6 hours in game time. It's meant to be played through a few times as the game has 7 different endings. I think the timer is very divisive. It's required to make the endings mean something, or else everyone would go for the best ending right away and spend as much time as they wanted. There's a reason to push yourself to move quickly and solve 2 puzzles at a time. The game doesn't count time while you're talking or using the inventory, so that's very fair. I didn't feel that much pressure my first time through, and on a second playthrough, you'll have so much more knowledge about where to go, you won't waste time. You're not meant to get the best ending the first time through. It could get repetitive, and that's the danger with this type of game, but once through is so short, I can spare the time to play through again. With the first playthrough, you experience the island and learn about all the areas. The next playthrough, you're able to finish up more of the story, so the time is spent differently. The town is really small, so you need to investigate every nook and cranny, as actually there are many different areas to explore. More of the town becomes open for exploration as the game goes on, and there are a few surprises as well. There are so many townsfolk to talk to. You'll learn about them as well as the history of the island. The ending you get is tied to how much of the lore you learn before handing the urn back to the witch. The writing is pretty good and nothing stood out to me as strange. The translation was done very well. For at least a couple of the other point-and-click games I've looked at, I've rolled my eyes at the dialogue. I'm sure you've already taken notice that the art really stands out. I find it to be the correct amount of dreary that fits the theme without going too far to make it uninteresting. The island is close to being one color, and I think that fits into the story really well. Also, when switching levels, the foreground and background move in a way that looks awesome. A simple parallax technique that makes the town feel much bigger and have much more depth. It's an old school technique, actually, that's more typically used to make the background move at a different speed. It's fun to see it applied here in a different way. The island is short left to right and much bigger top to bottom. It's very clever. I think lighting is used very well here too, and seems like the developer has a good eye for small details. I know a lot of my enjoyment in this game came from the visuals. Mechanically, it's a point-and-click game, so it's very basic. There are a few things here to help the player out. First, you can speed up cutscenes, especially useful since you might have to watch them a couple times. Next, you can follow other people you've already met on the island, even after a restart. This is useful because some people move around, and for certain characters, you will need them to be in their home to get what you need. This way, you can multitask. Witch's Isle also gives you 2 different save slots so you can try a few things without wasting your time. The final quality of life mechanic is a hint system. You have to wait 5 minutes real time before you can get a hint to the next step. It definitely spoils the game if you use it, but if you're someone who doesn't want to be stuck, then it is useful. Otherwise, I don't think any steps needed the hint. The game is easy enough to explore and find everything without help, especially if you're on board to play through multiple times. The story is not new, but it's unusual, and I wanted to see the whole thing with the true ending. There are some unique twists in finding out about the island that surprised me. I figured it was going to be a very basic, pick up this item, use it right away over here. It's just not that obvious, but it's not that difficult either. The game doesn't shout at you where to go next. It's just that the island is small enough to search everything. One thing I can say is that I've gotten really good at completing the game, and it can be run very quickly if you know where everything is. If you're going to play the game, then skip to the time shown on the screen because I'm going to be talking about spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you've been warned. So the endings are fairly similar, at least the ones where you turn in the urn. It's the same cutscene but extended if you found more of the lore. For example, if you turn in the urn immediately, you're cursed, but if you have some of the lore, then there's some more dialogue, but you're still cursed. Even then, the difference between the normal end and the true end is about 15 seconds of cutscene tacked onto the end, which is rather annoying. The game doesn't follow through on the true ending and show you the island getting back to normal and how the lives changed for the better. It's just a cutscene showing the curse leaving people with the credits. Also, I'm pretty sure the spell is broken on the main character and the armor smith halfway through the game, but they don't dive into their memories. I really wanted the game to let me free other villagers from the curse and hear their stories about how they got to the island. What is cool is how the game sends you to new areas like around the other side of the island. Even better is when I completely missed an area because it's slightly hidden but not blocked. There is a forest behind the bell tower that I didn't even know existed until my third time through the game. There are also clues littered around that can help you figure out what to do without the hints. Like the cave covered with vines that needs to be cut with the axe, but you can't bring the axe with you to that area. There are berries on the rocks above the cave, and then those same berries are on the cliff above all of that to show you that you can lower the axe. It's actually a really smart way to provide a link to the areas without giving too much away. It's just some berries in both places. It's kind of nice. Overall, The Witch's Isle is a short game that's straight to the point and didn't waste my time. It's not too easy, and the story is interesting. There's enough twists that you'll want to keep exploring the island. I found it worth the price. Yeah, it's kind of a mobile game, but it doesn't suffer from any of the typical mobile pitfalls that affect more action-based games. I think you should check out this game for something beautiful and unique.
Hey, thanks for watching this video, and thank you for watching all year. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of new subscribers this year, and I've just been having a ton of fun making these videos and playing the games. I've come across some really awesome stuff, and Gunlock and stuff like that, where I don't think it got a lot of coverage, and hopefully I turned some people onto the game. It was a lot of fun this year, and hopefully I could just make more videos. I would love to make more videos, but they just are so time consuming, and hopefully in 2018 I can make a little bit more content. I really hope so. So again, thanks for watching and Happy New Year.